I'm Mike Sullivan. So you want to play better golf, but you don't know where to start. Well, the first place to start is pre-swing fundamentals, which is your grip, alignment, ball position, and posture. We're going to talk about those 4 things to help you get started. Okay, so you plan on either taking up the game or you plan on just playing better golf and you like to know where to start. So here's the thing. I don't want to make this a real long video and give you too many reasons for everything, so just hopefully this makes some sense. We've got to start at the beginning, because if you start off at the beginning incorrectly, then in order to get the ball to go towards the target, you're going to have to make an inefficient move or an inefficient putting stroke even. So the first thing we want to do is learn our pre-swing fundamentals, and I break them down into 4 pre-swing fundamentals. All right, they are the grip, the way you hold the club, alignment, which is how you aim towards the target, your posture, and your ball position, where the ball is in between your feet. So let's start with the grip. All right, so think about it like this. If you're just kind of standing around letting your arms hang down by your shoulders, like just kind of naturally, right? Look down at your hands and you'll see that your hands, the palms of your hands, they're both kind of pointing in towards you a little bit. Kind of like this. Our hands don't hang like this naturally, all right? So we're going to grip the club in a way that is fairly natural, but it's just not intuitive. All right, so here's how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna let my lead hand, my glove hand, which for me is my left hand, I'm a right-handed golfer, I'm gonna let that hang straight down, and I'm gonna go ahead and grip the club. Now I'm gonna grip the club with the face of the club square to my target line. Or in other words to say, if I come over here, I've got 2 yellow sticks on the ground, I'm gonna put my club face down so that it forms a 90-degree angle with my foot stick, or a 90-degree angle with my target line, okay? So face square to my target line, and my lead hand, when I grip it, I'm gonna keep that same rotation as the way my hand hangs naturally. So when I put the club out in front of me, my thumb on my lead hand is on the side of the shaft, the inside part of the shaft, and I can look down. When I look straight down, I can see 1, 2, 3, I can see some of the 3rd knuckle on my left hand, my lead hand. And you can see some of this logo, this FootJoy logo right here on my glove. We call that a slightly stronger grip. It makes it really easy to get the club face to close. And by the way, most people play golf with a chronically open club face, and that makes the game really tough. So we want to make sure we don't have trouble with an open club face. So we're gonna grip it in a way that's gonna promote a closing club face, all right? My bottom hand, my trail hand, my right hand, for a right-handed golfer, that hand is going to go on. I'm gonna just kind of match up my hand with the club face right here. So it's, this time now my palm is dead in front of me, and I'm just gonna slide that down. I'm gonna personally take my pinky and kind of overlap it between the forefinger and the ring finger of my lead hand, and I'm gonna put that on so that my trail hand, my palm is matching up with the club face more, okay? And if you wanna get really specific here on this, the other thing we wanna do is, if you look at my lead hand here, I want that heel pad of the lead hand, and you can even see I've got like some wear on my glove that's not all blurry now that I moved up, right? I want that heel pad to be able to get a little bit up on top of that grip, on top of the handle of the club, right? And then I want the finger, my forefinger, to kind of hook underneath there. And I can actually just hinge the club straight up and down with the only 2 points of contact being the finger and the heel pad. Okay, the forefinger and the heel pad. All right, okay? So that's going to be our grip. Learn this, become comfortable with it. So you may want to pause the video or stop it and practice on the couch for a few days just getting the grip. It's that important. If you grip the club correctly, you'll be incentivized to do everything else correctly. If you grip it incorrectly, you're going to be incentivized to do everything incorrectly. So we really want to make sure that grip is where it belongs. Okay? So we got the grip, we're going to move on to alignment. Okay, so I've got 2 sticks on the ground. We might have to put a graphic over there so you can see them. This stick up here, it's up ahead of my ball, it's on my target line. That is my target line. And our target line we define as a line that goes forever, just like in geometry class, at the target and past the target forever, and then back behind me forever, okay? We've got to get really good at lining up with our club face square to our target line. The trouble is it's hard to figure out what our target line is standing on the side of the ball. Virtually impossible. That's why when you watch like the tour players on TV, you see them come back behind their shot like this. Excuse me, I'm turning my back to you, but they'll go ahead and get behind the ball so they can see where it is that they're trying to aim. And I've got this stick going roughly at a blue flag out there. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to practice with these sticks on the ground enough so that when we go through our routine and we get an idea where we're going to aim, we can pick out a little intermediate target in front of us on the course, but we want to get really comfortable with looking at our target with good alignment. All right, now a lot of times I'll get newer golfers or higher handicappers. Not many low handicappers will kind of challenge me on this, but sometimes people say, hey, well, if you can't put sticks down on the golf course when you play, you have to learn how to line yourself up without those sticks. Well, that is kind of true. The thing is, by having the sticks down, you're ensuring that every time you hit a practice shot, you'll have good alignment and you'll become comfortable with good alignment. Okay, so just by practicing with the sticks, it's going to make it easier for you to get the alignment on the course. If you practice on the range without alignment sticks, just think what's going to happen. You're going to be trying to hit a target out there somewhere, maybe not even aimed at it. So you're not going to develop a good golf swing anyway. So you can get on the golf course, and even if you can figure out how to line up on the course, if you practice bad alignment, you're not going to be comfortable, and you're going to have a swing that wouldn't work if you're lined up anyway. Hope it makes that sense. I hope that makes sense, but we just want to build that habit of good alignment, okay? So this is super simple. I put one stick on the ground for my target, and then I put another stick parallel to it, so that when I set up, I can get my feet, my knees, my hips, and my shoulders all parallel to my target line. So now when I look up at that blue flag, now I know what good alignment actually feels like and what good alignment is. So being able to have a good grip and good alignment are unbelievably important. And if you can get yourself to grip the club correctly and have good alignment and practice out on the range and not deviate, eventually good things are going to happen. They really will. Okay? Let's talk about posture. All right, posture. Here's what we're looking for. We're looking for pretty much a neutral spine angle. Okay? And I've done this a lot of times. I've put a club back behind my back like this, and I'll keep the grip on my tailbone with the back of my head up on the club, and then go ahead and just try to bend from the hips. And what's happening is if you look at my belt line, my belt is kind of tilting because my hips are tilting. Then I'll relax my head, let it come back. The next thing is I want my hands to be hanging straight down from my shoulders. Okay? And when I put my hands on the club, I want the butt end of the club pointing at my belt line, and I want the shaft of the club to be really close to a 90-degree angle relative to my torso. It doesn't have to be exact, but just kind of close. All right? So now I feel like I've got good alignment. All right, where do people go wrong? I'm sorry, alignment. Good posture. So where do people go wrong? One of the ways they go wrong is they feel like they can't stand up to the ball with good posture just because they're not used to doing it, but they'll use like flexibility as a reason. Those people tend to not be kids, not necessarily older people, but they tend not to be kids. But what does happen is if you've been playing golf for a while a certain way, if you're not used to your brain sending messages to the rest of your body how to stand or how to do anything, you're gonna feel like you can't do it at first, but you can if you just stick with it. All right, so stick with working on this posture. The next thing is, when we do this, I'll show you another way to get good posture. I can sit up with the shaft parallel to the ground, try to get my spine 90 degrees to the shaft, and try to keep that relationship of the spine and the shaft, keeping that 90-degree angle as I bend. By the way, generally most golfers will be a little bit more upright with their spine than literally 90 degrees, okay? And then I can kind of like shuffle into the ball to go ahead and get that posture, all right? One other thing with posture from the face-on view, just think about this. If I'm gonna hit a shot and turn my shoulders, if I can get a little tilt to my spine like this, we call that a secondary spine tilt, I can just turn my shoulders 90 degrees to my spine, and you can see now I'm able to get my shoulders back behind where the ball would be, and then I can really get into it on my downswing, all right? So other part of this posture is gonna be the secondary spine tilt from this angle, all right? And I'm just taking my hip, bumping my hip towards the target a little bit, and letting my head come back as I do that. It's not just this, it's not this, just like that, all right? Okay, so last thing we're gonna talk about is ball position. Okay, ball position. Here's how I want you to try to do it. With your shorter irons, just try to get the leading edge of your club dead even with your sternum. And that's gonna put the ball a teeny bit forward in your stance. As the clubs get longer, just take your back foot and move it a little bit back as the clubs get a little bit longer, okay? By the time you get to the driver will be positioned quite a bit more forward because most people are gonna hit up on the club with their driver, okay? So, 4 pre-swing fundamentals. And I'm kind of giving them to you in the order of where I think you should really focus. Grip, alignment, posture, and ball position. I hope that helps. I'll see you next time.